So I just wanted to do an update on my spiritual awakening. I've actually recorded this video before, but it had a lot of words that I used that didn't vibe with my current being. It's a lot of words that is just not conducive to my being, and I thought I'd just do it again. And it has been about a couple of days after the spiritual awakening, and I feel absolutely back on track. I'm 100% fine. I feel like my thoughts are coherent and I'm speaking without like having to deal with the anxiety and fears that is due to the spiritual awakening. It's a lot of influx of information, a lot of downloads that I've gotten as blocks of information that I pretty much had to create new neural pathways for, and that is exactly what spiritual awakening is. It is an expanded consciousness such that the downloads that give you the data need architecture and infrastructure to flow and as well to integrate. So that's essentially in a nutshell what spiritual awakening and ascension is. And to describe my experience, it has been a lot of anxiety, a lot of like hormones of anxiety coursing through my body. I felt my gut pumping out so much hormones. It's like, it's a lot of and I'm not too sure what hormones the heart produces, but it does. Like, I'm not too sure where the anxiety, the perhaps adrenaline from the adrenal glands, like it goes to the heart and makes it beat faster. So that's exactly what's going on. And I experienced the symptoms of spiritual awakening and ascension through my heart and my gut. It just churns and it constricts, seizes up. It just gives me a very discomforting feeling of anxiety. It's just a lot of anxiety. And the thing is, when the brain detects anxiety, it brings up images that are associated with anxiety, which is why it's important to change the physiology in order to affect your mood sometimes. Sometimes that method works in order to change your mood. And when that happens, it's a lot of fears that come up. It's a lot of fears in my brain, and that I deal with it in shadow work. So the whole entire experience of different kinds of fears that come up, we need to transmute them, and we transmute them by loving them. We love them, we accept them, we ask what it is that the fears are trying to show us. Perhaps it's for us to really make a different decision in our head in order to soothe ourselves, that we can handle the situation if it ever happens again. And that's essentially in a nutshell as well how to do shadow work. And it's very interesting because this expanded consciousness can be experienced through substances as well. I've heard a lot of stories about people taking acid for and they experience a lot of fear that they have to do shadow work over, and that helps them to integrate the experiences within themselves. And it's interesting because you can experience expanded consciousnesses through substances. You can experience expanded consciousnesses through a natural expansion of as well as reception of downloads. It is an absolutely normal part of human physiology, and physiology. It's normal to ascend on a daily basis, and we ascend on a daily basis, really, we do. And that brings me to another point. And the ascension process is something that is given to us in order to help us expand, to help us grow, to help us develop, to help us spiritually strengthen, and in order to accept the new endeavors that the universe is trying to give us. We expand in order to hold more light. It's essentially what it is. And when we hold more light, we can definitely spread more light in this world. And where I kind of believe that we are here to make the world a better place. Like, I don't know if we are seeded from the stars, I call myself a starseed. I feel weird. Like, I've always felt weird my whole entire life. So I've read a lot about all these things on the internet, and I believe that we could be seeded from the stars. And recently, I read on Facebook that the DNA has been found outside Earth on different planets, and I'm like, that's interesting. It's interesting bit of information right there. And it could be that we are here to make the world a better place, so that maybe perhaps this world is just needing of a lot of assistance, and that's why people have been sent here. Like, it doesn't kind of make sense that we're all primordial soup that evolved into humans. It's a lot of interesting theories behind, a lot of conspiracy theories as well. And I don't want to go into that here, but focus on the ascension process. So after ascending, what do? You take the information and you chop wood, carry water is what it is. Like, this is it. I'm just describing my experience. And after that, it's just back to normal, back to a daily, amazing, beautiful life. But also, what I wanted to touch on was how I stayed grounded. So I had to stay grounded throughout the whole entire experience. It was very harrowing. It was ridiculous, and I'm going to actually expand on how it felt. So it just feels like a lot of tension. It just feels strange. It feels weird. It feels like your insides are being recalibrated. And that makes sense, because when you expand your consciousness because of the influx of information, you are reconfiguring yourself. Like, you're reconfiguring your insights in order to accept the greater downloads that are happening at the moment. And the downloads happen instantaneously. It's like bam. Like, that's the vibe I got, and that's just how I perceived it. It's just a whole entire brick, humongous brick that just comes landing in me, bam. And I'm like struggling to scrambling to reconfigure myself in order to handle that stuff that has come in. I'm like, thank you, but ouch. It is an experience for sure, a very interesting experience. And how I stayed grounded was by getting out in the grass a lot, and getting in the sun a lot. And being in the sun has been an experience that is absolutely amazing. Like, I've read somewhere again that we absorb sunlight. It doesn't just shine on us. Like, it apparently as well changes the DNA, upgrades our DNA. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was true, because it does make sense. Like, I feel like the junk DNA that a lot of scientists tell us, it's not actually junk. It's like how the appendix has been noted to have neurons. And I'm like, it's not just a piece of thing that you can just take away. Just because you don't know how it works doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It's that way sometimes. And I feel that it's the same way for junk DNA. I mean, it's just that we haven't figured out what it's for. It doesn't mean that it doesn't serve a purpose, right? Oh, it's interesting. Like, oh dear, science, you gotta not do that, Stop. Well, when we know better, we do better. We have to give everybody grace. We have to give ourselves grace. Like, we know better when we do better when we know better. Yes, back to grounding. So sunlight, getting on grass, having showers, having singing sessions. Like, I sing along to YouTube videos a lot, and I hum, and that is to soothe the parasympathetic nervous system, so that the cortisol doesn't go up, so that adrenaline is brought to a good level where you don't feel anxious and on edge all the time. So spiritual awakening is pretty much a lot of, I'm just going to touch on that for a moment. Spiritual awakening is a lot of like stressful moments, like where all the fears have come up, and it's like incessant, bam bam bam. And the thing is, when you think it's over, it's not over. They give you more. The downloads, it will subside when it subsides, like when you have dealt with all of it, is how it feels to me. Like when you're halfway through it, you're like, "No, I can't do it anymore." And that's when your consciousness expands, you see. That's when you reconfigure yourself in order to integrate all that new data that has been given to you. Okay, back to grounding. Yes, a lot of self-care as well. I did a lot of self-care, like face full of makeup all day every day, nice clothes all day every day, smelling good, feeling good, just making sure that the vicinity of my being is as nice and as comfortable as I can make it, because like it feels really icky inside, and I have to like really make it nice for myself as much as possible in order to help the whole entire situation be better. So grounding, yes, self-care, a lot of self-care, listening to music, reading materials that help, lying down a lot, just feeling good as much as possible. It's a lot of self-care that is needed in order to take care of yourself, because spiritual awakening can it made me feel like a very sensitive, it's like the skin has been rubbed raw and it has been needing a lot of care. It just needs a lot of care. You can't shake too vigorously, you can't talk too loud, because everything is a lot, is too much. Like every kind of, like even small gestures can instill fear. It's ridiculous. Like it's, and fear is what? False evidence appearing real, right? So it's not real, it's just the ego being itself. It's trying to keep you safe. It's what it is. And thank you, ego, but we don't need that now. But because you're experiencing a, you know, a crisis at a moment, an emergence at a moment, we have to take steps to ground in order to soothe the ego. It's a lot of ego work, is the ascension process. It's a lot of the ego raising its head and saying, hey, I think that things are not good, and you're like, no, it's fine, it's really, really fine, here's some proof that it's fine. It's essentially the ascension process. And I think I rambled on a little bit, so I hope it all makes sense, and I hope that it helped bring some light, shed some light on what the ascension process is and what spiritual awakening is. I hope you have a good one and have a lovely night.